Hi, this is Jim, and I'm the New Hampshire Rock Guy, and we're out on another one of my mining adventures. Wow, look at this spar here. It's just falling out of the mine walls, and there's so much more to see. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Feel all 6 sides of the tourmaline crystal. What would be west into the Connecticut River Valley and the mountains of Vermont. World-class beryl crystals, both aquamarine and golden.
If you look hard enough, you'll find something it's facing. Yeah.
Get ready for a fantastic journey of this incredible mine. Greetings. Again, it's Jim Pecora, and this is part 3 with John Salo here in Marlow, New Hampshire. And you're watching this on Pecora's Mica Mine Schoolhouse. And we're talking a little bit more about the mining operations, and right now we're standing in front of what would be a on-site dynamite storage box. Tell us a little bit more about it, John.
Well, basically it's that's a heavy steel corporation. It's made, this one has got 2 doors on it, and it's got locks that we can lock those up at night. This is very heavy.
Oh, I can imagine. So the lock would go, this would
this
would go
goes down through
there.
right there. You lock that up, and then to get at the lock, the reason you had this metal piece was so that people weren't able to get in and hammer the lock and work it. And then it was down toward the ground. So, and in one bay you would keep the caps, and then the other side you keep your 40% dynamite. And
there would, on this door, there would be one more block of wood here. So it's wood and then steel.
Yeah. This actually has come off. That have to put a new block of wood under here to match that one.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. This one here, because it's been out here behind the buildings, it's just on ground. It still could be used. And but these are where we actually. A lot of guys had them in their truck. They call them a day box.
Okay.
And so if they were carrying it, they went somewhere and got some dynamite and
Enough for the day's work.
But we didn't have the restrictions after the war and up until about, even till after the 70s. You
Can I close one?
Yeah, I'll just go. Don't let it all go at once.
Yeah, no. That is heavy.
Yeah, whoops, that one come off. I'll just take a block. Let me put it in this side over here, and I'll use it to measure one. If I put it, I don't anticipate going back and having to use this right now, but you never know.
You never know. When would something like this one have been made? How old is this? 50 years old or not?
Oh, I would say 50 years old, because it was used, and they had the rubber things over. They really designed them to just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really put a rubber mat right over the.
And this is how you would put a chain or a
chain and pick it right up with your backhoe.
About how heavy the whole thing? Any idea?
Yeah, I bet with everything, you're probably looking at 500 or so, or 600 pounds.
Now this one had a number on it. 4. Would this?
Oh, you numbered all your boxes had their numbers.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was another figure on the other side to indicate on which side was the caps in and which side was the dynamite in.
We have these, which we can talk about what these are, but whoops,
piece of ledge right there.
This would be about the size hole you would need to drill, but these are core samples. So these were drilled with a hollow drill so that they could be taken out of the ground, and you could see what minerals, and these are, again, they're just oxidized and dirty right now, but if we have some of these in the museum. Matter of fact, we have the ones you gave us from your stone wall in the front, and you can see the different layers of the minerals.
Right, to see what you're running up for, depending on, and of course you have the length of it. You could lay out and you know how deep you had to go to where those were too.
They would keep these often in a box or something and keep them labeled as to where they came from?
Well, I had these boxes about so wide, and they could be 4, 5, 6 feet long, and they'd lay a whole section down. You could, just as it came out, you put it right into a kind of a curved thing, and so you could turn those in there, but you have the whole.
Was it hard to get these out? Or
no, because they're traveling up inside the steel,
Yeah.
the drill steel with your bit down
So it's
here at the
wearing
end.
it down a little bit.
Well, it does, and they're turning over, and the bit makes it just a little bit so it slides right up through.
Well, that's good to know. I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, no, you can't get them bound in there. You know, sometimes, well, they would break and fracture, depend if there was a fracture in the ledge too.
Yeah.
But you had that information because it would, when it came out, you just put it down in your tray. Excuse me. By that means, just lay it out.
So can we pause and switch to the truck from here? Is that a possibility? Let's do that, John. We'll go over and talk about
I was going to say, if you were looking for something, you can step around behind this truck. I didn't use these in the mine, but that more like that older truck. That's I think that's a 56 Ford, and but it was low on the body, and many times you could back them in. You could back them into the tunnel, and the guys could, you know, take them up
Be able
and
to
throw
load
them and throw it right in.
what tonnage could they take? 4 or 5 or more?
Like that?
Yeah.
No, whatever you put in, probably 4 or 5. You know, whatever you could get of the loose stuff. You try not to. That was all hand picked, you know, unless you had a room enough in your tunnel to have a loader in there and pick it up that way.
Let's talk. We have just a couple of minutes left in this segment, and we could always shoot another one because I'm sure there's lots more we could talk about.
Well,
but we'd love to talk about. Oh, is that the drill?
This is a drilling rig,
Ah,
but you're using this out in the open area, not using this much in the tunnels. I don't know if you can even get that now. It's so much, you can take some limbs and put them down.
so it had two wheels, or no? This is something else.
No, that's something else. No, it had 2 wheels, but you had a
And you
wheel
towed
up-
it. You towed it.
You towed it around and had a wheel here up in front. Yeah,
And then this would stand up, and
Right.
you'd be drilling.
right.
Do they call this the head?
Yeah, that's the head.
Yeah.
It's all
And
part
then
of
you'd
the
have
drill.
a drill which came in all different lengths, right? 4, 6, 8
Right, you would add them and they went right through that guide up there.
at the other side.
Right.
Now, the maker of this, American or foreign?
No, American. I think I was going to say there was a name on that and I should remember it.
And these are hydraulic hoses, so
Yeah,
oil
That's,
under pressure
well, that's, yeah, or air.
or
Those-
air.
Those are air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the air pump?
That may be part of it. That's probably the oiler.
Oh,
You
okay.
see, your oil was injected into your air, so it traveled out and was there going around the drill.
Well, that's pretty neat. So we've talked about mica, we've talked about feldspar. In other segments, we talked about quartz. So could we talk about beryllium, or should we do a new segment on beryllium? How are we doing on?
Well, I don't know that much about the beryllium. I know that it was in demand in World War II.
Did you have much of it at the Sargent mine?
Not great, no.
No,
we
mostly
didn't-
mica was that was
mostly
what you were
mica,
after there.
right. But up in Alsted, there was a place they called Burrow Mountain
Yeah,
Mine.
Ackworth, yeah, South Ackworth,
South
yeah.
Ackworth. And that was, the fellow was after that was, a guy came down from up north, up where some of the other mines are, and he went mining just Burrow there, and that's why they have Burrow Mountain.
So he came, you're saying, from Grafton, the Grafton area,
Right.
to
He was
do the
mining-
mining for the barrel. This would be World War II or
Right.
30, in the late 30s. There was no need for barrel before they could extract the element beryllium, which came about in 37. And by 57, beryllium was readily available to anybody that was making
Right.
metal alloys. But so in that time period, there was a big need, and right into the 60s because of the Cold War.
I think the fellow around the Burrow Mountain mine was Herb Ashley.
Oh, that's
And
great.
he
That's a
was-
name that I'm not familiar with. Herb Ashley. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah, he was up in that general area. That was where he's from. He moved down to Newport and then they went down through to Aqua for Bell Mountain.
Specifically, there were mines in Newport as well?
There were mines,
Or was it more manufacturing? You mentioned that there was
the micro shops were in Newport.
Okay.
That
And also I think I read when in the 60s Barrel Mountain was mined for the quartz,
Right.
that it was crushed up in Newport and then sent down to Boston.
Right. Well, they did a lot of crushing right there at Bell Mountain.
Yes, because we one of our earlier videos, I have a handful of it
Yeah.
that was showing the audience.
Well, they had a lot of that pink stuff in the quartz.
Rose quartz?
Rose quartz,
Yeah.
and which people liked because they could blow it right into the cement and then give it a mottled effect on a building, and they used it. The fellow that was doing that after Herb Ashley left the mine down there was ran a construction company over in just out of Keene.
Carl Thomas.
Carl Thomas.
Yeah.
And he
The
was the one-
family his children still own Barrel Mountain to this day.
Oh, they do. I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
who owned that now.
Yeah.
I know
Lynn,
it's
Lynn
been
Thomas, Lynn and I think
Lynn Thomas, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to think of his name.
The equipment on the top of Barrel Mountain, Lynn told me right away that in one of the metal pieces is welded ATD-7, and she said that was her father's way of numbering the equipment. That was the 7th piece of equipment that he owned for doing this type of work, and that was a drill that could drill the 3-inch holes right into the solid
Right.
quartz. So that was quite a rig. It was Denver Air. The ATD stood for Air Track Denver, but it
Denver.
was actually called the Denver Air Track or Denver Gardner. The Denver company became
Gardner,
Denver
Yeah.
Gardner.
I think it was that order, but this might be a same thing. I don't know whether the name, I can't even see it on there now. It could be a Gardner Denver.
Now, what is this? Oh,
That's
this is used to
To
pick it up.
lift, to lift the boom, move it
Wow.
up, crank it up, and get it up in the air. Of course, it'd have to be greased up, oiled up pretty well to get it working.
Well, maybe this could be in the museum someday.
Oh, it could be.
We just got to get a site to house
Well,
it all.
Have to take a few trees out of the way and
Yeah.
probably fix the tires. They were up. Well, they've been up quite a while. That one may not be completely flat. That one is just about, other one's gone. They're a tough old tire. but-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
what's
great.
it right now? Ingersoll Ram.
Ah.
IR.
Oh, okay. Great. There it is.
Yep.
We'll get a picture of that for you, I hope.
Maybe
So
you can
we had a
see it.
good wrap. So thank you, John, for your time.
I
And,
don't know if you
and-
can see that IR.
Yeah, Jackson will come over and get it closer.
It's right down the bottom. I hate to leave it out here under the tree, but it's been here a while.
Yeah. Well, we just got to get mining again.
With that, well, we got the environmentalists to work with.
Oh, yeah.
And really, the environmental, there's a need for it, but I don't know that it needs to be so heavy one way and not more balanced.
We're catering to a lot of families that are not part of a mineral club or something, and we'll get grandparents that'll call us up and they want to show their grandchildren what
Right.
mica is and where it came from. So we do a lot of what I call family tours,
Right.
and take people out, and we have several of the mine owners in the area are willing to work with us,
Right.
and we have some mines that are changing hands
Oh, sure.
right now. So there'll be hopefully a new group of people that we can get to know and develop relationships with, and be able to take
Sounds-
people out on more tours.
You'll have a different perspective of it too, I'm sure.
Yeah, the newer owners.
Newer.
Yep. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to Pecora's Mica Mine Schoolhouse. Jim Pecora and the New Hampshire Rock Guy, and Jackson Stone, videographer of Vermont. Look him up on the web. He does great work and would be available for your video needs as well.
All right.
All right. Thank you, John.
Well, you get this out of my hand here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it's